Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a standard legal set with fewer than 200 cards. Well over half of all creatures in the set are legendary, with many simply being different iterations of the same character. And, as a small set, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not really draftable in the traditional sense. In order to draft this set, you need 4 players doing the new Pick 2 draft format. Does this all sound familiar? The more time I've spent looking at this set, the more I can't help but feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just another Spider-Man. And no, I want to be clear about this. I do not mean because it's a Universes Beyond crossover that I personally don't care for. Yes, I don't like Ninja Turtles and I don't like Spider-Man, but that's not what I mean when I say this set is a redux of Spider-Man. This video and this criticism has nothing to do with Universes Beyond. In fact, if the upcoming set was in-universe, if this was Alara or Ravnica instead of Ninja Turtles, but the set was designed the same way, I'd still feel like it was September 2025 all over again. The similarities between the upcoming standard legal Magic set and what is widely considered to be one of the worst Magic sets of all time do not stop at the surface level. In fact, the deeper you dig into the 190 cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the more you hold them up to the 198 cards in Spider-Man, the more you see that the two sets are, in many ways, virtually identical. When Spider-Man fell flat on its face, it seemed like a big reason for this was the decision to turn the set from an Assassin's Creed-style mini-set into a larger draftable standard set in the middle of the design process. Many cards felt rushed, sloppy, or uninspiring, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did not face a mid-design set structure pivot, yet many of the designs in the set nonetheless feel, well, mid. The limited environment of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles does look like a legitimate improvement on Spider-Man's historically terrible draft format, but that's not a very high bar to clear. And even still, many issues with Spider-Man Limited are still present in Ninja Turtles. If anything, the limited improvements to the limited format only serve to make the unaddressed issues look unavoidable, perhaps even structural. None of the excuses one could have given to Spider-Man's lackluster design apply here. Worse, with The Hobbit and Star Trek likely being small sets as well, the design problems presented by sets like this are quickly becoming a very real concern for the game at large. Until something changes, these small sets with structural design issues are going to make up a third of all sets released moving forward. But what exactly are the design issues with small sets? What makes me say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the same as Spider-Man, and what does that suggest about future small sets? Perhaps most importantly, what does this increase in small sets mean for Magic as a whole? All those questions and more are what's in store, so let's discuss. Before I get into why Magic sets need to stop being designed this way, there is one secret about Wizards of the Coast that I really need to tell you. Now, I'm only going to say this once, so please pay attention, but Magic the Gathering as a game is more than what it seems. There's a lot going on with this game, and what you need to understand. So loot increases your single data energy by 304%. You see, loot may seem like a gremlin, but he actually represents a very growing trend in terms of the ways. And that, my friends, is what the V really stands for in Verhey. You got all that because it's up to you, only you, to save Magic the Gathering now with that information. Hey, what? You fell asleep through all of that? It sounds like you need a better quality sleep, and that's the sponsor of this video. I have just the secret for you that you better stay awake for. It's Helix Sleep. Helix is a quality mattress brand that is low-key really good to help with problems falling asleep and staying asleep. With a lineup of 20 unique mattresses, there's a sleep solution for everyone, whether you're someone who needs more lower back support or you're looking for more airflow because you run hot at night. And if we're really Really sharing secrets here? Oof, I need that Midnight Lux's Ergo Align contouring comfort to support my lower back from carrying this channel so hard. If you're looking for a strictly better upgrade to your mattress on a budget, Helix also offers a variety of mattress toppers that can offer personalized comfort for 2 sleepers, or even add pressure relief with a premium memory foam topper. And don't let the stress of ordering a mattress online keep you up at night, because thanks to their 120-night sleep trial, you can try any Helix mattress and guarantee it's the right one for you. The mattresses also have a lifetime warranty. So thank you, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring this video. Just go to helixsleep.com/Tolarian to take advantage of their President's Day sale exclusive partner offer to get, 27% off site-wide, or you can just scan the QR code or follow the link in this video's description. With better sleep, you won't be missing any of my really, really important secrets anymore. Okay, so now that you are awake, I can tell you one last thing, and I really need you to remember. Once upon a time, small sets with fewer than 200 cards were a common component of the Magic set release schedule. During the era of 3-set blocks, the middle set in the block would always be small, intended to augment the limited environment of the first set. Drafts involving the small set generally comprised 2 packs of the larger first set and 1 pack of the smaller second set. When the third set was also a small set, players would draft with 1 pack of each set in the block. For all that Magic boomers, myself included, tend to romanticize the days of blocks and Magic, when small sets were a regular part of drafting, they were actually pretty unpopular. Many Magic the Gathering players felt small sets added very little of value to the larger set's draft environment. Small sets also faced another problem. If there was a particularly broken limited card in a small set, that card showed up disproportionately more often than it would have in a larger set. The most recent example of this also happens to be the last traditional small set to ever enter Standard, Rivals of Ixalan. Rivals of Ixalan had 2 cards in particular that were so powerful, many Magic the Gathering players felt they ruined Ixalan block draft altogether. The more frequent offender was Ravenous Chupacabra, an uncommon. Chup was the quintessential mythic uncommon, an extraordinarily powerful removal spell on a stick. As an uncommon in a set with just 190 cards in it, the odds that one would get opened in a random pack of Rivals of Ixalan was much higher than if the busted uncommon had been in the first Ixalan set of 275 cards. The other problematic card in Rivals of Ixalan was a rare, Tetsamok, Primal Death. Tetsamok added prey counters to your opponent's onboard creatures from your hand. Then, when you finally cast the big dinosaur, it would destroy every creature with a prey counter on it when it entered. Tetsamok in hand and a prey counter on your creature? What exactly were you supposed to do? Run out more creatures to also receive prey counters? Or simply not play anything else onto the board and waste your mana turn after turn, while your opponent declines to run out their Elder Dino? When Wizards of the Coast discontinued blocks, one of the reasons they provided was that there were design issues with small sets. Now small sets are back, and instead of standing alongside their larger brethren under the umbrella of the same block, they stand alone. From a design standpoint, I feel that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just as unbalanced, just as generic, and just as one-note as many small sets of Magic's past. By many metrics, it's even worse. Small sets of the past never had to stand on their own in Limited. Imagine if, instead of adding a pack of Rivals of Ixalan to a stack of 2 regular Ixalan packs, players instead had to draft 3 packs of Rivals of Ixalan in a 4-player pick-2 format. Imagine one player at the table opening Tetsamok at Rare and Chupacabra at Uncommon. I'll pick these 2, thank you very much. Have fun with the rest of the pack, fellow drafters. Should we play the games, or can I just collect my prize packs right now? Any format warping card in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Limited will have a greater impact here than they would in a larger set. They'll be felt even more strongly than Tetsamok or Chupacabra were felt in Rivals of Ixalan, which took up just a third of the overall packs opened in a draft. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there are likely several format warping cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Agent Bishop, Man in Black, takes an exceptionally strong limited rare, Luminarch Aspirant, and makes it twice as good for just 1 additional mana. Sally Pride, Lioness Leader, and Triceraton Commander are in many ways the same card. They make a ton of bodies and threaten to snowball if you get to untap with them. All 3 of these cards are stone cold bombs, and we're just talking about white cards here. Armagon, Future Shark at rare gives off serious Tetsamok energy, but without the mind game element of revealing the card from your hand ahead of time. True, it costs 2 more mana, but it costs less total mana to kill 3 creatures with Armagon than it does to kill that many with Tetsamok. It's also larger and has flash, meaning it can blow out an opponent's combat step, destroy 3 creatures, and block a 4th for a clean 5 for 1. These are just a few examples, and we won't know for sure what it will be like to play against these cards until we've, well, played against them. But with as many powerful limited rares as there appear to be in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and considering how often any given rare will show up in a small set relative to a big set, I strongly suspect that games of Ninja Turtles Limited will be a highly lopsided affair. This imbalance will be felt not just on a card-by-card basis, but on a color-by-color level as well. White, black, and red all look stronger than green and blue do at first blush. These colors have several powerful common creatures that also enable the archetypes in their colors. They also have stronger common removal spells than the other 2 colors do. A limited environment with a color that's weaker than the rest is nothing new, but, and this will be a common refrain throughout this video, the discrepancy is felt more strongly when there are fewer cards in the set. With fewer cards in each color, each slot in the card file matters more for a color's overall viability. Fewer cards in the file also means individual card quality matters more than inter-card synergy. There just isn't as many synergies to be found. There are only 5 archetypes in Ninja Turtles Limited. If even one color in the set is weaker than the rest, then that means 40% of the draftable decks in the format are at a disadvantage. If 2 are weaker than the other 3, then that's a surefire recipe for miserable and repetitive limited gameplay. The good colors will be overdrafted, and the bad colors still won't be able to compete. Your drafts are going to be the same every time, too, since you will be trying to force whatever colors are good over whatever colors are bad. Looking at the set file, I'm struck by how little of the design space in this set is new. Many cards feel like they already exist, with just a few design knobs turned to differentiate them from their predecessors. Even the mechanics have all been done before. Sneak is just a slight variation on ninjutsu. Disappear is identical to Revolt in all but its name. Alliance is literally from Streets of New Capenna. In fact, if you break down the 5 archetypes in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, pretty much all of them are things we've seen before. These are White-Black Sneak, aka Ninjas, Black-Green Food, aka Sacrifice, Green-Blue Mutagen, aka +1/+1 counters, Blue-Red Artifact Creatures, aka Artifacts, and Red-White Alliance, aka Go Wide. 4 of these 5 archetypes are variants of archetypes we've seen many times in their color pairs. The 5th, White-Black Sneak, is basically a redux of the Blue-Black Ninjas archetype from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. But I will give it a little bit of credit because while ninjutsu is an existing mechanic, it's rare enough as a limited archetype to feel a little special here. The most unique mechanic in the set is the brand new mutagen token, but even that feels like a riff on maps, treasures, clues, and food. And calling Simic +1/+1 counters, or even Simic mutations a fresh limited archetype, is more of a stretch than the cheese on a slice of pizza. I talked about cards that feel reminiscent of existing design space, but there are also many cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that aren't just reminiscent of existing cards. They're full-on turtle-skinned reprints of existing Magic the Gathering cards. Manhole Missile is Fire Prophecy. Frog Butler is Poison Dart Frog. Grounded for Life is Seized from Slumber. Yes, there may be very slight adjustments made to some of these cards, but by and large they exist in well-charted design space. To be clear, there is nothing wrong with bringing back tried and true designs to fill out the corners of a limited environment. Every set does this, and it's a great and safe way to provide valuable role players to low rarities in Limited. But the high volume of this kind of card is felt particularly strongly in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because of its small size. This makes the set as a whole feel more generic than you'd expect from a set with flavor this anachronistic to the rest of Magic. The set size is also felt through the sheer number of legendaries included in the file. This is true of every Universes Beyond set, mind you. It's what happens when you try to jam every character that's ever appeared in an outside property into a single Magic set. But most other Universes Beyond sets have more than 200 cards in them. There are 72 legendary creatures in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's about 38% of the set. It's well over half the total number of creatures. To put this in context, Outlaws of Thunder Junction had 43 legendary creatures in the set, which was more than any other set in Standard at the time of its release. 43 out of 271 total cards is 16% of the set. It's 27% of the 158 total creatures. I remember talking about how there were too many legends in Thunder Junction, but now I miss the days when only 16% of a set was legendary creatures. Now, you'd think having a bunch of legends in the set might make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles feel less generic, but they don't. The legendary designation is entirely meaningless at this point, except for what it means mechanically. From a flavor standpoint, from the way it feels to look at a creature these days, the legendary designation has become ordinary. This is not helped by the many, many legends in this set at low rarities. Look at the common versions of Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. Never mind if these creatures feel like the characters they're supposed to represent, do they even feel legendary? This happens when the need to stuff as many recognizable characters into a set as possible meets the need to design a functional limited environment. If you only have so many slots for creatures in the card file, and every character who's ever appeared in the outside property must be in the set, you're going to need a lot of limited archetype role players to play double duty with character representation. Virtually every single problem I've thus far pointed to in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was also present in Spider-Man. The similarities between the two are honestly absurd. In addition to the set's size and setting, both sets share 5 simple draft archetypes, ally color pairs for Spider-Man, enemy color pairs for Ninja Turtles, 70 plus legendary creatures, including the only legendary creatures printed at Common since Joven and Chandler from Homelands, Modern Horizons 3's SCOA notwithstanding. Both sets also feature simple generic designs shoddily applied to recognizable characters, an alternate casting cost mechanic that returns tapped or attacking creatures to your hand, a remake of a popular mechanic, the return of a mechanic from Streets of New Capenna specifically, and a single card with Kicker, which happens to be a functional reprint of a Dominaria common. I could go on and on, but the point is this: Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are functionally identical sets. When Spider-Man had issues, it was logical to blame them on the rushed nature of the design process. But now, it's become clear that the problems with both these sets are simply fundamental problems with standalone small set design as a whole. Small sets have always had issues, but they worked well enough to be used for years because they were never intended to stand on their own. They always had other, bigger, usually more popular sets to support them, to provide context for their designs, to give them something to build on top of. The small sets we see nowadays have none of that. They have an impossible task: be a fun, fresh, replayable limited environment that also appeals to fans of the outside property and provide relevant cards to constructed formats. And they must do all of that with 100 fewer cards than every other set gets. Increasingly, it seems like the defining word of standalone small set game design is simplicity. If you make cards too complicated, then you can't design a viable limited environment. The cards will struggle to fit together when drafted. But if you make them too simple, the cards don't feel distinct, the draft format is boring, and the set doesn't have much impact in other formats. Both Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles erred on the simple side, which makes sense. That's the side that still functions as a set. Barely. Again, this has nothing to do with my feelings about Spider-Man or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as properties. I suspect strongly that The Hobbit will face the same issues that these two sets do. And Middle-earth, it meshes just great with the Magic Universe. I have no problem with there being a Middle-earth set. Small sets fundamentally do not work as standalone products. I mean, they barely work as supplementary products. If small sets were bad enough to warrant discontinuing the block model, why would they be worth bringing back now as their own thing? Well, the answer is obvious. The Universes Beyond label means it doesn't matter that these sets don't really work. They'll sell regardless. That's really bad news for the health and future of this game. The only metric that Wizards of the Coast uses to determine if a product is good or not is whether the product sells. Aftermath micro boosters didn't sell, so they made undraftable Assassin's Creed mini boosters. Those were also super unpopular, so they gave us the technically draftable Spider-Man packs. We don't know for sure how well Spider-Man sold, but it was probably pretty well. So now here we are with Ninja Turtles. The bar is now Marvel's Spider-Man. Will Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles outsell it? What about The Hobbit? Small sets are the future of this game, or at least a third of the future of this game. This is bad for so many reasons, but not the least of them is that these sets are intended to draw potential new players into the game. That's the point of Universes Beyond, but if the products aren't good, then do they actually work for bringing in new players? Sure, non-Magic players buy the set with their favorite property on the label, but do they play with it much after cracking the packs? Do they stick around to check out other sets and maybe become lifelong fans of this great game? We don't know. We don't have those metrics, but what we do have are these small sets. We'll have them for the foreseeable future, even though we now have all the evidence we need to see why they don't work. No, these sets would not be better as universes within, but they wouldn't be made as universes within. When they were made in-universe, Wizards discontinued them. But now, they're Universes Beyond. So not only does WotC get to start selling them again, they even get to charge more for each one than they do their larger, much better sets, both those within and beyond the Magic Universe. And there's no opportunity to opt out, but that was a different video. As for this video, I want to hear from you, and I especially really want to emphasize that this isn't about Ninja Turtles, a thing I don't like, Spider-Man, a thing I don't like. This is about set design. This is about the words on the cards. Take the Spider-Man set, take the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, and give it a polish of Ravnica or Alara or even Lorwyn, and it's still a bad set. I feel we need to stop designing sets like this, but now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and you can help me out greatly just by hitting subscribe, hitting like, leaving a comment, and watching another video, such as our most recent episode of Shuffle Up and Play, where we play Pre-Modern with Andrea Mengucci, Reed Duke, and Rebel Lily. It's an awesome game, an awesome format, and some of the best players in the world. If you haven't watched it, I hope very much you'll give it a try. Linked here and in this video's description. What's up? It's Summoner's Rift and Play. We're playing Riftbound again, and we've got the returning champion from our last Riftbound episode here today. But who else has joined us?
Well, I'm glad, Prof, you picked from the bottom of the barrel for people for this episode.
Krim, go ahead. Now, this is the greatest card text ever. If I die alone.
All right, you don't know me.
I do, actually. We work together very frequently.
We know this, right? We see this, right? I just want to. I've started a showdown. Does anybody have anything?
Just.
Oh wow. Okay.
With zero open rooms.
Yeah. Tell me how you did that. Okay.